Hi. So we'll discuss today EC2 elastic block storage. We'll go through EC2 block storage overview, and then EBS volume examples, EBS volume types, EBS versus your instance store, and IOPS performance instance store versus your EBS, EBS encryption support, EBS snapshot, and how EBS is stored in the snapshot in an incremental way. EBS snapshot creation, EBS snapshot encryption, and then attach detach of the volumes. We'll see. What is elastic block store? An EBS volume, elastic block store volume, is a network drive you can attach to your instances while they're on. So while they're on, suppose one instance is running and you need some more extra storage or extra volume, you can also attach while running your instance. Amazon EBS provides highly available, reliable, durable block level storage volumes that can be attached to a running instance. It is a network drive, not a physical drive. That means this is not a physical drive attached to your virtual machine. It is a network drive. It uses a AWS network to communicate the instance, which means there might be a bit of latency. Your volume in a different place and your instance in your hardware in a different place. So they are connected through a network cable. So you may get some bit of latency. It can be detached from the EC2 instance and attached to another one quickly. So while running, you can detach your volume. You, you can detach your drive from one EC2 instance and attach to another EC2 instance in the same availability zone. You have to keep in mind that same availability zone. Your EC2 volume will not move to another availability zone. There is an option. I will tell you how you can move your volume to another region. So while we'll learn snapshot, then I will tell you. It is locked to an availability zone. An EBS volume in US East 1 cannot be attached to US East 1B. To move a volume across, you first need to snapshot it. You have to create one snapshot, then copy the snapshot to one region to one availability zone to another. Then you can create another EBS volume there. You can also move one region to another region by using S3 copy operation. Have a provision capacity size in GBs and IOPS. So you will have two things: the size and the input output per second, the performance of your volume. You get billed for all the previous provision capacity. You can increase the capacity of the drive over time. So whenever you want, you can also increase the capacity. So vertical scaling is option is there. You can scale your capacity. See one picture of your EBS volume example. This is your host computer. This one is the host computer, and in the host computer there will be instance store and all the hardwares, and you launch two EC2 instances, instance A and instance B. And in the right side, the EBS volumes, EBS storage you can say, and in the EBS stack you can allocate some memory, some storage for your EC2 instance, right? And instance A having one volume and instance B having two volumes. One is root volume, one is your additional volume, right? These instance also can have your Amazon EFS. We'll discuss EFS in a different chapter. And your EBS volumes, you can take a snapshot and you can store in the S3 bucket. It will be internally stored. It will not be shown to you. You need some API to access those snapshots, or you can see in the AWS console also your snapshots. EBS volume types. So how many types of the EBS volume is supported? So first type is your solid state drive, SSDs. These are faster volumes you can say, and this is faster and also expensive also. The price is more. So from the solid state drive, And there are two types, purpose SSD. One is like general purpose GP3 and general purpose 2 GP2. It provides a balance of price and performance and recommended these volumes for most workloads. So this is a general purpose, you can say general purpose SSD. Mostly we are using this SSD3 or GP3 or GP2. Next is your provision apps SSD. Provision apps means they will provide high performance for mission critical, low latency and high throughput workload. So basically we are using these things in our database servers. So where we need high performance communication. Provision apps means input output per second. That will be you can say low latency, high throughput workloads. We require these provision apps. And next type is hard disk drives SDD. This is the you can say previous generation hard drives. These have two types: throughput optimized HDD ST1, a low cost HDD designed for frequently accessed throughput intensive workloads. And another is cold HDD, the lowest cost HDD designed for less frequently accessed workloads. And apart from that, you can see some previous generation volume types, magnetic standards, workloads where data is infrequently accessed. So suppose you are not going to access more data and you want to just only use and you don't have more operations, you can also use this magnetic standard. So while writing this PPT, this type of volume type supported. You can check this to get the latest types. Yeah, maybe the same type, I think. GP2, GP3. I think this one IO2 block express. You can refer this to get the latest volume types. And the details is given here. We'll see what is EBS versus instance store. Some instances do not come with root EBS volumes. So some instances, but till now I didn't check about instance store. I am always using EBS. Instead, they come with a instance store. Instance store is ephemeral store. That means temporary storage. Your instance store is temporary storage. So if you stop and start, you will lose your data. Instance store is physically attached to the machine. So EBS is a network drive. This is the main difference. Your instance store is attached to your physical device, your physical host, but EBS is a network drive. Pros: better IO performance. EBS GP2 has max IOPS is 16,000. IO1 is some 64,000, but it have a good IO performance. Good for buffer, cache, scratch data, temporary content. And data survives reboots. Reboots data survive, but stop and start data will lost. If you do stop start means your host may change, but in case of reboot their host will be there. So due to that reason your data survives in case of reboots. Cons: on stop or termination the instance store is lost. You cannot resize instance store and backups must be operated by the user. IOPS performance instance store versus EBS. So use instance store instead of EBS if very high IOPS rate is required. So if you require more IOPS or more input output operation, you can use your instance store in case of EBS. Instance store although cannot provide for data persistent, but it can provide for much higher IOPS compared to network attached EBS storage. So basically you can use your instance store based EC2 instance in case of higher IOPS or higher performance. EBS encryption. You can encrypt both boot and data volumes of an EC2 instance. When you create an encrypted EBS volumes and attached to a supported instance type, the following types of data are encrypted. Okay, all you know what is encryption? Or any questions on encryption? I think all you may know encryption. So following
No,
types data are
not
encrypted.
sure.
Hello.
I'm not that sure.
Okay. So data encryption means they are changing your data format, and not data format. You can change their data to in a secure format, right? Encryption. So if anyone read, so he will not get the actual data. So if you decrypt that, you will get the actual data. So encryption means like change your data, like they will change their bits, so that if you read, if I encrypt one media file and I will give to you, if you open this, it will not open, like your zip file. So I'm zipping one text file, so if I open this, the text file is not open. If I unzip this, then I can see my actual data. So encryption is some kind of that.
Just for security purpose.
Yes, we are changing the data,
Okay.
but data is changed. If you decrypt this, then you can see our actual data.
Actually.
There is two operation, encryption and decryption. Encryption function, there is a function, encryption function. If you pass this, they will have some algorithm, and they will change those data in a certain you can say not format. You can change those uh, content of your data, and your decryption function will again restore to your original data.
And what did you say about boot volume? Boot and data volume.
Boot volume means your where your OS information is stored in the EBS volumes. The or in the for example, your C drive in
Okay.
your laptop, you are installing your all the software in C drive. C drive, you can say a boot drive.
Oh,
Okay, if you are adding some additional hardware like your USB, uh, you can say USB hard drive. You are purchasing 1 TB of USB hard drive and connecting. That is not a boot volume. That is additional volume,
additional.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So data at rest inside the volume, all data moving between the volume and instance. So communication
What is
between your
that?
instance,
What does that mean? Data at rest.
data at rest means inside the volume. Data, suppose you store one file that is keeping in the rest. See, there are two things, rest and in-flight. In-flight means communication between your volume and instance, or your communication between your client to your instance. You can say in-flight data. But which is stored in your volume, that is rest, data at rest.
Okay.
Okay. So all data moving between the volume and the instance is also encrypted. All snapshot created from a volume. So if you encrypted one volume, so the snapshot will be also encrypted. All volumes created from the those snapshot also encrypted. I create one snapshot, then again I created another volume from the snapshot. That volume also encrypted. You can also, suppose there is some unencrypted snapshot, you can also encrypt it. EBS encryption support. So it is supported volume types is all types of volume supported. See, all type volumes that we discuss, like your SSD, your HDD, your magnetic disk, all volume types is supported. And supported instance types. So another question. Okay, my EBS volume is encrypted, all volume supported. And another question is whether my instance is going to support the encryption, because the instance will do the encryption. So instance have capability to do that, right? Amazon EBS encryption is available on all current generation instance types. So all current generation instance types supported encryption. And also some previous generation instance type like A1, C1, CR1, 8X large, G2, I2, M2, R3, those are also supported for encryption. You can better, you can see the documentation if you want, because while writing, I had these informations, and every day maybe AWS changing their documentation, right? So for means one day you can say that yeah, you told me that this type is not supported, but it's supporting, right? That is always going to change, but the concept will same. But this
Yes.
yeah, some specification or some types is continuously changing by the AWS. They are constantly developing, and they are constantly so developing their AWS services for to give you some best experience. So next the demo. I think today we don't have much time to show you the demo. So tomorrow I will show you the demo, like how to create one EBS volume and how to attach some additional volume and how to create a snapshot, how to create one AMI, and later we'll store some data and create some AMI, and we'll also launch one EC2 from that AMI, our custom AMI, and see whether our data was there or not. So I think we can do the demo tomorrow, right?
Mhm. So